We are officially live. Welcome to anybody that's joining us. I think there does tend to be a bit of a lag, so we'll just do some chit chat between now and then. We are here for the Pride in Leadership LinkedIn Live, where we're going to be talking about their survey. Welcome anybody that's joining us. How's your September, Claire?
It's good, but it's going to get better because I'm going on holiday on Sunday. So it's going to be sunny. I'll be able to get my extremely white ginger skin out and get a bit of vitamin D, hopefully, take me through the whole of winter.
Amazing. Matt, what about you?
Yeah, well, I'm just taking my vitamin D supplements instead. So.
Yeah. Hope you come and tune out now, Claire, from the holiday chat. Jealous sleeves. I reckon people will be able to join by now, so I'm going to kind of jump straight in because we've got quite a bit to cover. So obviously I'm Amelia from Charity People. We're hosting this LinkedIn Live and really chuffed to be welcoming Pride in Leadership. Claire, do you want to do a little bit of an intro to you?
Sure. So my name's Claire Ebury. I run a little consultancy called On The Level. So that's onthelevelconsultancy.com, just to give you something to poke at in the background. And so that's the day job, if you like. And then the gay job is Pride in Leadership. And Matt and I set this up because we realised there's a bit of a gap for LGBT people in leadership roles to network, to support each other. And we decided that we would create this kick to elevate, connect and support LGBT leaders across all sectors and all shapes and size of organisation and aspiring leaders as well.
Amazing. Thanks, Claire. Matt, your turn.
Yeah, so hi everyone. My name's Matt. I am the co-founder of a social enterprise called Reason Digital, and we build technology that charities and mission-led brands use. So yeah, if you've donated to or visited a charity website or two in the UK, it's quite likely you've used a bit of technology that we've made. And as Claire said, I'm the other half of this pantomime horse that is Pride and Leadership. I think the back half, if I have to choose.
Thanks. I appreciate that, Matt. I do.
The technology and the emails and all that sort of stuff. So we've been super excited and kind of overwhelmed by the response to this survey that we've set up recently.
Amazing.
Yeah, we should just tell you a little bit more about Pride in Leadership. So we put on events all over the place. We've done a lot in Manchester because that's where Matt and I are from, and so our network's very strong here. But we've also been to Newcastle this year. We've been to London. We're going to Birmingham. For Halloween, we're going to be interviewing Andy Street in central Birmingham. So please have a look at our website. It's prideinleadership.co.uk. Go to the upcoming events and have a look there. We're about to build one for London as well on the 12th of December. So just, keep checking in. We've got an annual conference in Manchester on the 26th of November. That's our first ever annual conference, a full day event of inspiring LGBT speakers. And we've only got 18 places left for that, and it's on the 26th of November. So it's the demand has been much higher than I expected. Next year I'll have to rent the Etihad Arena or something like that. But yeah, please check us out and join in.
Yeah. And yeah, definitely move quickly if you want those last 18 tickets because they've been absolutely flying out, Claire. So if you are here and you're joining us, please feel free to pop any questions in the chat or even just say hello to let us know that we are not alone. And we're here today to talk about the survey that Pride in Leadership are doing. So who wants to kick off and tell us a little bit about the survey itself?
You go, Matt.
Yeah, sure. So as part of us trying to have a positive social impact on the LGBTQ plus community, and particularly aspiring and current leaders, it was really important for us to kind of upgrade our understanding from hundreds of anecdotes from people that we speak to that have given us a really good sense of some of the barriers, the challenges, and also the positives as well of being LGBTQ plus in leadership, but also we really needed to make sure that we have like a solid evidence base, particularly as we want to kind of affect change in organizations, in companies, and also at a policy level. So yeah, we put together this survey. I think, Claire and me said we'd be really happy if 200 people filled it in, and we managed to start that kind of data collection. We're over 800 now, and set to hit 1,000 by the time we close the survey. So and we've just learned, so much from this survey so far about people's experiences. People have been so generous in sharing their lived experience, and it's been really striking, actually, how diverse that experience is.
Yeah, and just to sort of give a bit of background as well, there isn't very much information out there on LGBT experiences in the workplace, and especially not in terms of barriers to career development. So, for other elements of diversity and inclusion, we've seen information from McKinsey, for example, on gender. We've seen the Parker Review on race, and these things are brilliant and very welcome, and they have made a difference, we think. But you hardly ever see anything on LGBT experiences, and that's why we thought it was really important. Stonewall have done some work on bullying and discrimination. There was something out last week as well, wasn't there, Matt, from the TUC? Yeah, it was similar idea. It was that bullying in the workplace as well. And then there's a brilliant woman called Layla McKay who's written a book on breaking the rainbow ceiling. So there are bits that exist, but they're sort of, there's not an overall capture, if you like, of LGBT experiences. And so it's really hard for us to know whether we're doing pretty well, actually. There are good examples out there. We know that, we're well represented on boards and charities as well, Amelia, which you would know a lot about. As LGBT people, I think often we give a lot back, but we don't know that. It's just anecdotal, and it is from our conversations and our experiences, we have made certain judgments, if you like, of where we are at the moment. So actually asking people has highlighted incredible amounts of information that we just had no idea about, and brilliant stories as well that people are telling. I mean, brilliant, not always positive, but some positive ones as well.
This feels like a really good moment to put the call to action in there. So Laura was supporting us with the tech at the back, and we're going to ask Laura to put the survey in the comments. And we'd love you to complete this if you are an LGBTQ plus person, if you know somebody who is. So this is also a call to allies as well to get involved, share it with people you know, share it with people in your organisation. And we'll do another call to action at the end. But I wonder, could we just explore a little bit what we're hoping to do with this information once we've got it? So let's hope by the end of September, we've got the 1,000 responses, we've got the evidence, we've got more information. What comes next?
Yeah, so we're already sort of busy analysing the information. So obviously a lot of the kind of rich insights to this, they're buried in stories and kind of lived experiences that have been shared with us. So it's quite a time-consuming job to kind of code all that and extract the kind of the findings. So that's already underway, and we have a professional statistician that's kind of looking at this information so that we can extract the insights from it that we need. And then really what we're going to be doing with those insights, we're obviously going to publish them in a report. That's kind of step one, but we're really clear that what we don't want to do is just create another kind of report that sort of gathers dust on some shelves, after it's published. We're really going to take this to our network. We have a network of lots of business leaders. We want to enrich their understanding so they can better support their LGBTQ plus colleagues and co-workers. And also we're going to take it outside of the network as well. And I think that's where it gets really exciting. Taking it to business leaders that may not be LGBTQ plus themselves at various other kind of events, and also making some really clear policy recommendations for government as well about the role that they can play in facilitating a more positive environment. Because it benefits everybody if LGBTQ plus people have the capability to thrive at work. That helps the economy as well as just being the objectively right moral thing to do.
Yeah. And for example, we're getting very strong themes coming through about my business has loads of policies in place but I'm still being bullied, and nobody does anything when that happens. That is quite a strong discourse that's coming through. Another one, Amelia, that you should perhaps think about is one about recruiters. So recruiters are feeding back to candidates, we think you've not got this job because you're gay. Wow. And I don't know what the role there is for recruiters. We should have a chat about that. But you know, obviously this is unacceptable, but it's being positioned as, you know, well, you probably didn't want that job anyway, did you? If they're going to be homophobic, if they're going to be like that kind of thing. So things like that surprised me that you know, they're coming through despite all the changes and all the progress that we've made over the last decade, 2 decades.
That does surprise me. And I don't know whether that's because of the space that we operate in within the charity sector, which I know is by no means perfect, but I think does have possibly a stronger sense of inclusion and belonging because of the work that it does. So I am quite shocked to hear that that's happening, but hopefully this is where this kind of work really benefits. So how can people get involved with the survey? What do we do now? So I've mentioned people filling it in, but it'd be good to hear from you. What do we do if we want to get involved?
So please fill it in if you are LGBT. That's absolutely the first thing to do. But then the other thing is we can only get this out organically. So if you have a network, an LGBT network at your organisation, whether you're LGBT yourself or not, please put the survey onto your LGBT network and encourage everybody there to complete it. If you have LGBT people in your phone, please put it into your WhatsApps and send it to them and encourage them to do it as well. This, you know, it sounds sort of trivial, old ones and twos, but we only need 200 more people. And we have seen that this is actually the way that, you know, we can spread the fire, if you like.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what your experiences have been. If you've had a kind of breeze of a time, and you know, being LGBTQ plus you feel it hasn't impacted your kind of career journey at all, we want to hear that as well. So
yeah, that's really important. We want the balance, because we know that, you know, it's a mix out there. Some people are having a terrible time. Some people are having a great time, and we need to know that as well. Is it better to be out in the workplace? Do you find that you're more successful? Some people are saying, brilliant, since I've been out, everything's been easy. Other people said coming out was the worst thing ever, because it meant that people then knew, and then I was a bit of a target. So the point is we need the full tapestry of this experience.
And I'm guessing the full tapestry of sectors as well, and different experience from different sectors, because that's something that, like, I just had quite I'm shocked that that's something that's happening. But I guess we need that kind of, people that are listening to this that know other people that know other people. We need to be opening that web, because I guess we're in quite similar spaces. I know, Claire, you've got much more of a sort of commercial background, but I know me and Matt are very much in that charity space.
Yeah, and we're all chronically glued to our computers as well, aren't we? And not every profession is like that. We hear anecdotally, stories of what it's like to be a trans bricklayer, or somebody working in retail. And actually, we really struggle to kind of get representation of people in those professions at our events and also at our survey. And I think that's a problem, because from the anecdotes that we hear, it might be that there's even more kind of barriers and difficulties in some areas in those professions. So what we don't want to do is feed into that kind of systemic kind of issue where, we're just kind of blind to a whole aspect of this, where there is actually a lot more kind of work to do.
Yeah. The other thing is, if you're involved in an EDI network that's not an LGBT network, for example, an ethnic minority or a disability network, please share it with your network there as well, because there will be LGBT people in your network, even if you don't know that they're there. And intersectionality is a strong theme that's coming through this as well. And the impact of bringing sort of multiple minorities, if you like, to work is quite a strong theme.
I'm just picking up a question that's come through from Tico. Again, Tika works for charity people, and she felt similarly to me, quite shocked to hear that recruiters are having that experience. She's asking, could you share what allies can be doing better in these situations. I'm not sure whether that means as recruiters or as kind of allies in companies, but I guess that's quite a big question for 5 minutes, but just maybe a little bit of exploration there.
It is a big question, Tiku. I mean, obviously there is the role of being an active bystander. If you ever hear something in your organization, stand up and say something against it. That's quite difficult. Sometimes these things are happening in interviews. One of the quotes that we've got through the survey is someone saying, in an interview, I was told we won't recruit a puff. So it's quite shocking stuff that, you wouldn't be able to stand up in an interview very easily and be an active bystander in that kind of situation. What I would say, though, is encourage training not just for the straight people to learn about things like being an active bystander, but also for the LGBT people in your organization to have training to help them to overcome some of these barriers. We've got a brilliant few courses. Matt leads one on overcoming barriers to career development, or overcoming barriers to business growth as well. You do, don't you, Matt? And we really look at some of the impact of coming out and of feeling different for all those years when you're young, and what that does to your psyche, essentially, and your confidence and imposter syndrome and those kinds of things. So encourage.
The story there about the interview experience that we do have, sadly, like many of those kind of anecdotes as well from the survey, but we also have a huge amount of people that are actually effectively expressing difficulties around more systemic barriers that are a little bit more insidious and a little bit harder to kind of point out and expressly say, that's wrong, that person should do this differently. And allies have an absolutely crucial role to play in helping foster a culture where some of those systemic issues can be addressed. Claire mentioned one there, that actually if you grow up in an environment that tells you that you're wrong for being who you are, be that gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, asexual, whatever it is, that it's very difficult not to internalize those messages and for that to impact your confidence, the sense of safety that you have in being seen. And we all know to kind of reach for that next rung in our career, be it I don't know, apply for a trusteeship they've seen on Charity People, or that promotion at work, that it takes guts to put your head over the parapet and say, yeah, I can do this, I'm good enough to do this. So often some of those barriers can be even internalized, and that's what we're learning a lot about as well.
Thanks so much. So we're going to be wrapping up in a couple of minutes. So this is the final call to action. We want people to complete the survey. Laura, our tech lady behind the scenes, is going to pop that in the chat then. Complete the survey, pass the message on. And Claire, just a quick reminder of the events in case anybody's joined.
Yes, we are speaking to Andy Street in Birmingham on the 31st of October. We have our annual conference on the 26th of November. That's in Manchester. And we will be going to London on the 12th of December. That's not been advertised yet, but we're hoping to get that up this week. So please keep checking in on our upcoming events on the website. We're also talking about having an event in Manchester in February as well. So just keep checking in because it changes all the time.
Perfect. And as an alliance that's been working with Pride in Leadership for a while, the events are brilliant, and I've learned loads by coming along and getting involved. So massive thanks to Claire and Matt. Any final words?
I just want to have a final word about Charity People, if you don't mind, Amelia, because Charity People have stood by us right from the beginning of Pride in Leadership's conception, even if you like. You have been a brilliant supporter, so thank you for everything that you've done.
You're more than welcome. Okay, we'll close off now and say goodbye. So have a lovely rest of the day. Complete the survey. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.